Today's short is being brought to you by Goya Foods. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Your daily game plan for success. It's Sachs in the Morning. Steve Sachs.
Hi, Steve Sachs here with Sachs in the Morning. And today we're going to talk a little bit about humility. You know, we've talked about humility in some sense before, but I don't think we talk about it enough. I really like this subject. I think it covers a lot, and it is a very important subject. So, you know, we've talked a lot about personal traits over the course of our episodes, but one that we really haven't drilled down into is the element of humility. It's most certainly an endearing character trait to have, especially in this current environment of transparency and openness. So what is humility really? And here's how it's defined: a modest or low view of one's own importance. The best way I see humility is you don't take yourself very seriously, but you take what you do very seriously. That's kind of the way I look at it. Now, somebody else may have a better view than me. Really? For some people, that's a tough pill to swallow. But, you know, wouldn't you agree that humility really is a virtue for some? It's not easy to express humility for most people. As a matter of fact, we probably see humiliation more than we see humility. The opposite of humility is humiliation, or as defined, making someone feel ashamed and foolish by injuring their dignity and self-respect, usually in public. We see this happen. We see it happen in social media. You know, that happens all the time. But do we really know how to exercise humility? I think that's the question. So in an article written by Tierra Blaine from Very Well Mind, she outlined some pretty important, some keen observations of humility. Let me share a bit from this article. Humility isn't always seen as a strength, but sometimes thought of as a weakness. Some people believe that humility is having a low opinion of yourself or low self-esteem and a lack of confidence. But in fact, it's the opposite. Humility is having the self-esteem to understand that even though you are doing well, you don't have to really gloat about it. Humility also helps the development of self-growth and self-awareness because it allows one to rationally acknowledge ways in which they can improve themselves. Humility can produce more happiness, positive emotions, and well-being because a person has a clearer understanding of their self, and they're also able to be comfortable with who they are and who they aren't. So don't confuse humility with compliancy. Holding people to high regard and consideration does not mean that you must allow them to walk all over you. You should always stand up for yourself and what you believe in and do your best no matter what. The point of humility is that you don't have to make someone feel worthless while doing so. Being self-centered or arrogant or unsupportive, of course, that's not good. Those are what you could see as well, certainly not humility. Almost the opposite. Most of us don't like these types of people. We do appreciate when somebody recognizes a job well done, when we get a compliment, or when we're given consideration. It's the person exhibiting that humility that often makes us feel good. I think today we need a little more humility and a little less arrogance and bravado. You see it everywhere. You see it in sports. You see it on TV. So I want you to try this today. Compliment somebody for a good idea, even if you may not agree with it. Hear somebody out before you say that's a stupid position to take. I'm talking to my friends on both sides of the political aisle as well. Seriously. A little humility will lead to a little bit less partisanship and accomplishment. Give it a shot, and I'm sure you'll see you'll feel good about it. And that's my short for today. If you like what you heard, give us a positive review, subscribe, and share. Also, remember that the Sachs in the Morning swag is now available on my Instagram site. Go to _Sachs_podcast. You'll see it right there on the Instagram, and just hit the link. Everything's there: mugs, hats, tumblers, you name it. Take advantage of it. And thanks to Al Hendrickson Toyota for their support of this podcast. And be sure to visit alhendricksontoyota.com.